Okay, here's our next system. We're going to add some names to this system. We've got a bathtub individually vented, lavatory separately vented, and the two vents tie together, two minor vents tie together into what's going to be called a branch vent. Okay, so here's all the names for our vents, individual and continuous. We have an individual vent. Again, those are minor vents that come together to create what's called a branch vent. This trap arm for the bathtub, we are going to say requires its own separate vent. Trap arms are governed in their length by table 2563. So for an 1.5 inch bathtub, the maximum length of trap arm is 1.8 meters until we get to whatever's going to vent it. So we'll assume that this trap arm was too long to be maybe wet vented or vented in some other way. So it's separately vented through an individual vent. And next thing we're going to do is fill in loads. So for the bathtub, minimum size 1.5 inch would be 1.5 fixed units. And that's an 1.5 inch trap arm. 1.5 inch fixture drain as well. Lavatory basin, 1 fixed unit. That's 1.25 inch and 1.25 inch fixture drain. Okay, now down at the branch we have 2.5 fixed units. Table 2410.6b says that for 2.5 fixed units we can be 1.5 inches. A quick look upstream verifies that we don't have anything larger than 1.5 inches draining into our 1.5 inch branch, so that will be properly sized. Now we can size the individual vent for the bathtub. Again, individual vents of any type or dual vents of any type can be sized directly from table 2571 based on largest trap served. So for the 1.5 inch bathtub trap, we can size the individual vent at 1.25 inch, and for the individual and continuous vent serving the lavatory, we can size that at 1.25 inch as well. Now here we have a branch vent. Branch vents are made up of minor vents. And branch vents are sized from table 2583. And checking table 2583, you can see that that table requires length and load. Now, the load on this branch vent is the load of all fixtures that are getting their air through the branch vent. So in this case, it's 2.5 fixed units is the load on the branch vent. The length of the branch vent is the worst case scenario of any one artery that makes its way up through the branch vent. So the lower end of a branch vent, in other words, is the most distant drainage connection through the branch vent. So if we were to start at the branch vent and work our way down into the system, every time we get to a T, take the longest path. Eventually you'll find a drainage pipe that will be considered the lower end of the system for sizing the branch vent, which is our bathtub trap arm connection. The upper end of the vent, for sizing purposes, will either be its connection to a stack vent, vent stack header, or open air. In this case, we're going to go straight to open air, and on the way we're going to count 3, 4, 5 meters. So we've got a 5 meter length, 2.5 fixed units. On the branch vent table, table 2583, the first column we look down is the vertical column under fixed units served. And we're looking for a number that will meet or exceed how many fixed units we have. We have 2.5 fixed units, so we're going to stop at 8 fixed units and then look horizontally until we find a column that has a length in meters that exceeds the length of our vent in our situation. So we have a 5 meter length, and for 8 fixed units being served, according to table 2583, we can use 1.25 inch for up to 9 meters, or for a branch vent length that would be considered up to 9 meters. So initially we're going to give that 1.25 inch for size based on table 2583. And then we just want to verify with table 2571 that 1 1/4 will be large enough for any trap served by the branch vent. So in other words, table 2571 is used directly for sizing individual vents and dual vents, whether they're continuous or not. But table 2571 is also used to verify the minimum size of all dry vents. Basically, you just have to double check table 2571 and make sure that you haven't given a vent a certain size that would not meet the minimum size for any trap served. In this case, we're going to be fine. The lav, the bathtub are happy with 1 1/4 size of venting. So for minimum sizes, we're going to have an 1 1/4 individual vent, 1 1/4 individual and continuous vent, both tying into an 1 1/4 branch vent.